Now, the National Police Service has issued a directive in line with tomorrow's planned protest. In a statement released in their X space, NPS stated that all protected areas, including the Kenya Airport Authority, shall be protected according to the Constitution. NPS, however, advised that all passengers set to be traveling tomorrow should show up early to ensure they fly before the protests escalate. The police report is as a result of the planned anti-government protest scheduled for tomorrow that entails invasion of JKIA by Gen Z, who continue to air their disappointment with the ruling party.
Kenya is at a risk of collapsing with the ongoing protests continuing to escalate amidst President Ruto making several changes in his cabinet, rejecting the finance bill and reforming the police service, just to mention but a few. The differences between President William Ruto and Gen Zs has now taken a month to come up with a way forward on which direction Kenya should take. The protest started as a result of asserting the finance bill into law, where Generation Z turned up in the streets calling on the government to reject the bill. Ruto went forward and rejected the bill. However, this was done so after pressure piled up on members of parliament who had to run for their lives after Gen Z invaded parliament. The protest did not stop there, with demonstrators calling on President Ruto to make changes in his government. The demonstration seemed to take a different trajectory when looters invaded the ongoing protest, causing loss and destruction of properties, something that has been highly condemned by leaders. The protests have so far taken lives of about 50 people who succumbed due to police brutality. In the streets of Nairobi, the protests have seen police being forced to use force to disperse the hundreds of Gen Zs who continue to come forward calling on the government to step down. President William Ruto has tried to engage with Gen Z through X space. However, his interest to convince the Gen Z hit a dead end. The head of state went forward to invite the opposition for a dialogue. However, the opposition seemed to split sides after Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka stated that he will not be part of the dialogue, with Roots party leader George Wajakoya also hinting that he received proposals from the government to take a position in the cabinet, which he highly restricted, and also stating that he will not be part of the dialogue. Eugene Wamalwa, Jeremiah Kioni also distanced themselves from the dialogue. President Ruto has now issued a warning to Generation Z, calling on them to stop the demonstrations being experienced in Kenya, warning to use force to deal with the protesters. In his remarks, Ruto repeatedly stated that enough is enough.
Walisema tusipitishe finance bill. Mimi nimewacha finance bill. Nikawaita wakanasema hawataki kuja kuzungumza na mimi. Wakaniambia niende huko kwa X. Mimi nikaenda kwa X. Wakatoroka huko, hawakukuweko. Wakaniambia tuitishe mazungumzo. Nimeitisha mazungumzo, wamekataa. Nimewaambia wanaendelea kusema wao ni faceless, wao ni formless, sijui wako nini. The country is much more important than any group of people. Enough is enough. Ama mnasemaje? Si imetosha hii maneno?
According to the head of state, who was bitter with his words, he requested the Gen Z to present their planned past protest, for their issues have been addressed and still they continue to protest. Gen Z were quick to respond after Ruto's sentiments, where they stated that they continue to see disappointment in him for one, not doing away with all the CSs after he reintroduced some of them in the new cabinet. The ongoing protests are said to continue for the next week, with a series of events expected to happen, including invasion of JKIA, which is expected to happen on July 23rd. The National Police Service has issued a warning barring protesters from invading JKIA, stating that anyone who will be seen around the restricted areas will face the full force of law. Edward Nyamo, KUTV.